Hello, I'm Matt. This is stock speedrun number 1 for the weekend of January 22nd, 2022. Now increased to 15 minutes in length because after trying it out, I think it worked out really well and I want to continue doing it that way. If you're unfamiliar with what a stock speedrun is, you can check this video's description for an explanation and also a disclaimer as to its content. Without further ado, let's go! Churchill Capital Corp 5. This is a SPAC, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay. So, you know how this is Series 2, right? As opposed to Series 1, the first series of stock speedruns? A little secret that I built into Series 2. A little bit of explanation here at the start. Little secret that I built into Series 2 is that this dashboard you see here specifically makes an attempt, because I got tired of doing SPAC after SPAC after SPAC, some of which had no information to go off of. So what I built into this dashboard here is the ability to filter out SPACs, because I didn't want to do SPACs anymore. I didn't want to do speedruns of SPACs anymore, right? The way that I do that, however, is by filtering out the word acquisition. If you got the word acquisition in your company name, I don't want to have anything to do with you, right? And most SPACs have the word acquisition. However, some don't. Some catch you a little off guard with the naming conventions. And this is one of them. And you know what? I told myself that any SPACs that happen to pass through that filter, it's a very rudimentary filter, but still, that happen to pass through that filter, just by virtue of being able to do that, I would be more than happy to actually do a speedrun of them. So you know what? That's my little explanation here at the start about what's going on with SPACs in Series 2. And as I said, I will do this one now, so let's go ahead and get into it. So, this is the SPAC. Churchill Capital, apparently number 5. Okay, so let's see. Do they even know what they're merging with yet? Tell you what, I can tell by this chart probably. A lot of hype when it first came public. But I'm guessing there's been little to no news since then. A little bit of a bump last June. I wonder what that's about. Let's go back through this timeline and see if we can figure out what's going on here. Ownership structure, tell us something useful. Not really, because it's a SPAC and no one gives a shit. More just better for Super Bowl. I don't know what that has to do with these guys. Streaming something. Peacock. Olympics. A lot of streaming stuff. I wonder what that means. Horacio in talks to merge with SPAC Churchill Capital. That was 7 months ago? I'm guessing that hasn't worked out? That rolls up Amazon.com marketplace brands. Is in talks to go public with this merge. Well, no deal has been finalized yet, and I'm guessing it fell through since nothing has been heard since 7 months ago. And that doesn't explain why I'm getting a whole bunch of articles here about streaming. And how streaming is doing. You would think it's merging with a streaming company. Comcast expand relief for small business. Appoints. What is Freewheel? What does that have to do with this? Separate trading of Class A shares. Why is it giving me a whole bunch of Comcast news? I wonder if it's picking up on CC, perhaps? Maybe that's a code for Comcast? No. Alright, I don't know why it's giving me all these streaming articles, but as far as the news for this SPAC in particular, this is all I can find. Last thing that was known is that it's in talks with Thrasio, and that was the end of it. In January of last year, mind you, this was going on, and absolutely nothing since then. Maybe the super smart, sometimes, individuals in the conversation section will know what's going on better than me. If I can ever get there. Is there news coming? 2 months ago. Yes, it is something about to happen. 2 months ago. 3 million in volume, that is bullish AF, bro. 3 months ago. Let's just remind everybody what the chart looks like. Yeah. Flat as a pancake, friendo. I don't know what you're talking about. However, it is probably this giant spike in volume here back at the start of December that they're talking about. I wonder what caused that. I don't see any news. There's nothing. There's nothing that was published at the start of December. High volume, good news coming. Nope, nope. You can keep sitting there with your hands with the praying. Thoughts and prayers ain't gonna make this go up for you, friendo. Khalid, I am sorry. High volume today, no news. Yes, that is correct. There was no news. When is this expiring? This is a damn good question. Went up to $10 last night in foreign market. No one gives a shit. This is why I hated SPACs. What the hell am I supposed to do with this? Nothing is coming. Is it all BS? This stock is dead. No one will partner with these crooks ever again for what they pulled off this. Pulled off this with CCIV? Oh, that was the Lucid one. I remember that. I actually traded that for a time. That's right. That is Churchill Capital. That was CCIV. That was Churchill Capital 4. And I know that everyone was angry about how the deal with Lucid went, but you know what? Everyone is always angry about how these SPAC deals went. It never, ever, ever goes the way somebody expects. Again, let me explain the SPAC lifecycle. Let me get this disturbing Teletubby off the screen first. That's freaking me the hell out. SPAC lifecycle, right? Stage 1, IPO through announcement of what company it's going to merge with, right? That's where this seems to be right now. That's 100% where this is right now. It's been in here for a long time. Usually sitting in that stage 1 is not good for a year as a sign nothing's going to happen. But that's phase 1. What switches from phase 1 to phase 2 is when there is announcement or at least a very good rumor of what they're going to merge with, and more than likely it's going to shoot up. That is why, usually, whenever a stock is in that stage 1 of the SPAC lifecycle, I am willing to give it a buy. It seems to be very rare that these don't eventually merge with something, or maybe it's not as rare as we think, and we just don't hear about it when, SPACs just die and don't merge with anything and they steal your money. So that's phase 1. Phase 2 is post-announcement. That becomes a little more volatile. Usually it goes up very fast and then either plateaus or starts going down again. As soon as it enters phase 2, as soon as it enters phase 2, that's your signal to sell, and it instantly becomes a sell. Because it's all downhill. Now, if it's on rumor as opposed to solid news, there's kind of like a phase 2B, where once solid news comes out, if phase 2 has all been rumors so far, then that's kind of phase 2B. Even in phase 2A, it can kind of still be a sell, but you got to read things a little differently. You got to kind of read the room, see if it can keep going up once an actual announcement is made. Because once that happens, hard sell, because it's never what the shareholders want it to be. It's always a shit deal. It's never not a shit deal, and everyone's butthurt. They lost money, and you see a bunch of whole lawsuits come out of the woodwork. You can time your clock to this shit, all right? And then after that, it's all down there. Phase 3 is just post that announcement, and then after that, you're gonna buy this not because you want the SPAC, but because you want the company the SPAC is going to turn into, which may be a good company. That's fine, but the deal's gonna be shit. The deal is always shit. It's never not been shit. And every time it is shit, people lose their minds. How could they do this? This is not right. I'm gonna sue them into oblivion. You'll see a whole shit ton of articles here saying lawsuit from these guys, lawsuit from these guys, lawsuit from these guys. If you had losses up to total so and so monies from this date to this date, please contact this law firm. Yeah, we get it. Again, investing is not free money. You are taking a risk. And if you are not fully prepared to weather the downside of that risk, the possible things of going south, or having the skills to avoid it, stay the fuck out of this game. Jesus Christ, I'm getting worked up. Okay. Going on rants. What else is new? All right, you know what? Let's just let's hurry this up. Let's force ourselves into phase 2. I want to know a little bit more about CCV merger. Still, first result is that Thrasio. StockTwits has their own discussion boards? I did not know that. One of the reasons why I like Yahoo so much is because each stock had its own discussion board. I didn't know StockTwits had that too. Three of 4 of clients previously merged SPACs definitive were announced in January for work closing in. Think so? I don't know, man. That sounds like speculation! Objection! In downtrend, good news or bad. Alright, this is, you know what, there's literally nothing here that I can look at. Sure, buy, I guess. Because it's in, this is why I hated doing SPACs, oh my god. This is why I hated doing SPACs. This is zero information to go off of. So what am I supposed to do? So what am I supposed to make a judgment call on besides from make up the concept of a SPAC life cycle? And there's your information. You know, this is what it tells you to do. And yes, so long as something is in phase 1, which this is, I usually tend to give it a buy. And yeah, you could say, oh, but Matt, you know, there's always the risk that it's not going to merge with something. And it's just gonna take all your money. It's like, yeah, sure, okay. Sorry, I didn't mean it in a sarcastic sense. I meant that in a yes, I know. Please, you don't need to inform me of that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I've been extremely negative and pissy in this video. I'm just mad that another SPAC made it through. I thought I fixed this. I thought I dealt with this, but then again, you know what? I also knew it was possible for some to get through my filter because it's a very rudimentary filter. I will admit, I knew that. I knew that, evidenced by the fact that I had the whole speech to go. Once I finally hit one, explaining about the new feature of the dashboard and the fact that I tried to filter them out and this one just happened to go through the filter, and then I decided that if one did do that, that I would do it anyway, and now I'm regretting that decision. Alright, you know what? I need to go cool off a bit. I'll catch you in the next one.